Last week, followers of Selena Ryden'S started accusing Madam Glam of copying her viral nail cards. Her cards are kind of like tarot cards. You have a shape deck, a color palette deck, a nail art deck, and then I believe there's a metallic accent deck. And if you're a nail tech, you would use these if you're, you know, the inspo's running a little bit low, or you could make it a game with your client, and some people just even use it on their own just to do their own nails. She's even released a number of themed expansion packs to go with her original set of cards. The Madam Glam cards started being spotted when people started opening their Madam Glam advent calendars. And some even thought Selena may have partnered with them for this. Once she made it clear they weren't her cards, the majority of the nail community was livid. Full disclosure, Madam Glam has sent me a fair amount of PR in the past, and I've made a fair amount of content using the products they sent me in PR. I am not, however, a Madam Glam ambassador in any way. I'm also a pretty big fan of Selena Ryden. I've been following her for years, since before I even became a nail tech. In fact, she's part of the reason that I decided to get into this career industry in the first place, and even part of the reason that I started this channel. Now, I have not said anything publicly about this. I haven't commented on Madam Glam's posts. I haven't made any stories about this, simply because there's evidence that Madam Glam is blocking people from their page if you make comments like this, and I want to still be able to see their page to see if they make an apology or a statement, or also to see what happens when the day happens when more people open the cards. I want to see what happens. So that's why I haven't said anything publicly on Instagram or anything, or tagging Madam Glam in anything until now, because I feel like I've waited long enough to see if they're gonna say anything, and they haven't. So if at this point they feel like they need to take those measures, then I guess they need to do that. People will screenshot it. I'll find it on Reddit. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So let's just give everybody a quick introduction in case you don't know who Selena Ryden is, and in case you don't know who Madam Glam is. According to the About section on the Moonflare website and the Bio section on the Selena Ryden website, she has been a licensed nail tech since 2005. After 9 months of working in a nail salon, she decided the salon life wasn't for her. She decided to pursue a career in dance instead, doing nails on the side at home. In 2012, she got back into nails, began uploading nail videos to YouTube in 2013. In 2014, she began working with Light Elegance, and in 2016, she was named the official Light Elegance brand ambassador and international educator. In 2018, Selena opened her own nail studio where she could focus on education, marketing, and building her own companies, Selena Ryden AB and Moonflare AB. And today, she is one of the biggest nail influencers worldwide. Oh, she's also Swedish. I forgot to mention that. And according to the About Me section on the Madam Glam website, Madam Glam is an NYC-based startup brand founded in 2014. I looked up what a startup brand actually means because I don't really actually know. From what I can understand, it is a brand that's creating something that doesn't exist. They're filling a hole in the market. However, a challenger brand is a brand that's creating something that already exists and is adding more competition to the market. I'm not totally sure what hole they thought they were filling in the gel polish market, but I mean, I'm not gonna argue, fine, whatever. Startup brand. Anyway, but if you know more about this, let me know. Madam Glam was founded with a rebellious mind and a lofty objective: to create salon quality, carefully sourced nail and gel polishes. We decided to bring together a community of passionate nail specialists to build your favorite one-stop shop for all things nails. This decision came from our desire to consider the well-being of our customers. To compromise was never the answer. We have a simple offer: beautiful and quality products at an affordable price for beauty addicts who love to discover new products every month. Be careful, because you'll get addicted fast. Who is Madam Glam? Simply your best friend. And as a friend, it spoils you by offering you amazing deals to get your favorite products at extraordinary prices, cares for you by completely being dedicated to providing the best customer service ever. You don't like a color? Just send it back. No questions asked. You want to be the first one to be notified when a color is back in stock? Just send us an email and we'll save one of the colors for you as soon as we have it back in stock. Shares with you by regularly sending you awesome nail tutorials, how-to, and nail art videos, by keeping you up to date and inspired on social media. Never ceases to surprise you by releasing new products 10 times faster than any other brand and adding colors every month exclusively. Every month? That's too much, Madam Glam. That's too much. listens to you by ensuring that you'll always love everything that you order on our website. That's why we never keep a product online if more than 2% of our customers are not 100% satisfied with it. So that's the About Me, Our Story section of Madam Glam. They don't really answer any questions. It's very marketing-y, in my opinion. There's no like brand history, no background, no like this person was a nail tech and found that this wasn't existing in the market. There's nothing like that. There's nobody was passionate about something. Like there's not even like the founder's name or a CEO. Like there's nobody's name. There's nothing. It's weird a little bit to me, in my opinion. Like it's kind of giving like some old white dude realized how popular nail art was becoming online and thought, we need to jump on this business hole in the market. Let's go. I can't find who the founders were. Mind you, I didn't like deep dive Google search or anything, but I couldn't find who the founders were. I found that the COO at one point was a Norman Simon. I believe he was the COO at one point. And the GM from 2018 to 2020 was a Yuri Vase. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. And I cannot find much else online about the brand, except for some reviews, blogs, tutorials, that sort of thing. I cannot find a lot of information specifically about the brand. Selena's nail cards were released on November 1st, 2022. Yes, after working on them for almost 2 years. And from what I understand, she designed everything herself. The artwork on the front, I know is something that she designed. I remember watching the YouTube video where it was like in a sketchbook or on her iPad or something. I remember seeing that specifically. And all of the artwork that's in the deck that like is used for inspiration was also created and drawn by her. The color palettes were put together by her. The accents, all the design inspo, everything was created by Selena. Toward the middle of November, people started receiving their advent calendars from Madam Glam, opening them, making and posting content about them. At which point the viewers started noticing the cards and started messaging Selena asking if she was involved in this advent calendar or if they knew that cards that looked like hers were involved in this advent calendar. And she made a TikTok about this, so I am going to play that for you right now so you can hear it from her mouth exactly.
Okay, story time. And this is something that actually happened to me yesterday. I have some images to show you that will make you go, ooh. But first, I need to give you a little background. In 2021, I came up with a project, an idea that I launched in 2022. It is called nail cards, and it is basically cards that you're using, nail techs are using when you don't know, when the client doesn't know what she wants to do and you need some inspiration. Just to give you like a creative boost. It is divided into different sections and you pull a card from each section, blah, blah. You can see a video about that on my page here if you want to know more about the cards. Also, the cards have been hand designed and drawn by me and my mom actually. And here they are. I've also created 2 expansion packs to go with it. In the card deck you have an introduction, how to use the deck card. And then you have 3 accent, gold, rose gold, and silver cards. You have different shapes. You have different word inspiration cards. And you have design cards that I have hand drawn myself. And also the color palette cards. Worth mentioning is that they have also been featured in like every major nail magazine, all the biggest nail YouTubers, biggest nail accounts on Instagram. So they have gone viral multiple times already. So fast forwarding to yesterday or last night, where I started to get lots of DMs and PMs on my Facebook and everything with people, nail techs, were sending me information about a card deck that just came out on the market by another brand. So this brand, it's called Madam Glam, and they just launched an advent calendar. And in this advent calendar, they put this product. Another little thing that I think is important to know is that this brand has been contacting me for years, asking me to do promotion for them for free, in exchange for product, really. So I never answered them. But the last email that I got, this was a month ago, I actually sent them my rates because I figured that this will probably make them stop contacting me. And this is a brand that is based in New York, but I know that their products are made in China, if I'm not incorrect. And I'm pretty sure that with the last email that I got, they actually wanted to send me the advent calendar for me to promote on my socials for free. And this is the part where I'm going to show you the images and you can do your own conclusions. I'm not going to say anything about it, but yeah, here are some fun images for you to take a look at. Here are a couple of my color palette cards. And here is Madam Glam. My shape cards. A couple from Madam Glam. There are more of these. My accent cards. Madam Glam. Here you also have my instruction card. You can pause to read it. This is the front. And here is the back. Here's also the back of the box with the copy. And here's the instructions card and copy from Madam Glam. So what do I want to say with this? Well, basically what I do want you to know is that no, you are not getting the card deck that I created and designed and have trademark and copyright on. That you're not getting that in the Madam Glam advent calendar. So just so that you don't think that you're paying for my product, because that is not what's in the calendar. So if you are interested in the original nail cards trademark, then you can get them at moonflarenails.shop or with any of our worldwide distributors. We literally have them everywhere. So North America, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, Norway, Iceland, UK. Just contact us and I will let you know.
Just a quick side note about how she mentioned that they would contact her and ask her to make content for them in exchange for PR. That is 100% true. That's, I believe, how they work with most of their content creators and influencers. That's how they approached me with everything. I did like the products that they sent me, so I did make some content about them. I was also planning on doing like in-depth deep dive reviews like I did with the Glitter Bells review for gel polish and Builder in a Bottles. They were going to send me that anyway. I was going to make the content anyway. Why not have them send me some and make it a little bit easier for me? I've since put that series of reviews on hold for the time being. If you want to know more about that, maybe I'll make a video, but yeah, that's on hold for right now. There was also one point where I took too long to make the content after they sent me the PR, and they sent me an email asking if I was still going to make the content, and I was like, listen, making content is not my full-time job, and if it was my full-time job, you'd be paying me to tell me to put content out, so... And once I sent them that email, they kind of like chilled and backed off and like let me work at my own timeline, because it's free content, people. Let me work in my own timeline. The last time they sent me any PR was in September, and I just didn't happen to make any content about it, and they haven't contacted me or tried to send me any PR since. And the last I heard from anybody from the brand was October 11th when I asked them about the safety of the nail polish remover, and the response that I got from them was, regarding the gel polish remover, the ingredients are listed on the bottle and on our website, and we are super clean and transparent about it, and I am sure you have noticed this. So that's how they answered me inquiring how they were safer than the ones that have been proven to be unsafe, being that they're very similar textures and all of that. I wasn't really given any information or sent to a person who could give me any information. I know that has nothing to do with this video, but we were talking about them contacting me for PR, and this just sort of fit in there, and I wanted to give you an update, and this just made the most sense to put it in here, so there you go, update. They did not answer any questions I had about the remover. Don't use it. Okay, onward. The same day that Selena posted the TikTok comparing her cards to the Madam Glam cards, the comment section on the most recent Madam Glam posts were full of incredibly unhappy and disappointed people. Let's take a look. Is Selena Ryden being paid for her trademarked idea that you're using? I'm interested in buying, but I don't want to buy stolen intellectual property. And then somebody responded, no, she is not being paid. Somebody commented posted defending Madam Glam and telling them to ignore the haters, and the response to that was, damn, imagine if you created something and someone stole it and monetized off of it. Not only is it illegal, but you'd be mad as hell. So weird you'd knowingly stand by this company. Was really wanting to save up my pennies to get this year's advent calendar. Too bad you chose to steal and sell someone else's trademarked product. Not a good look. Even if the other cards out there, like maybe one, don't even look anything like the design you've stolen. We're gonna get into the other cards and that in a second. Are you trying to stoop to Shein's level by stealing others' work and selling it as your own? And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Those comments that I just read were left on a Friday, and when I went back on Saturday and Sunday, all of those comments were deleted and a whole bunch of new unhappy, disappointed people were leaving comments. Many were calling out how their comments were previously deleted. Like this commenter here said, my previous comment was deleted and I'm sure you'll block me too, but again, we all have the screenshots. True, true. You can choose to make things right, and maybe some of us will come back as customers, or you can continue handling it this way. It's a small industry, and we always keep tabs on things like this. You really picked the wrong artist to steal from, and you have time to fix this. Yes. Yes. Yes, Selena's very popular. And yes, if they just... Yes. You have deleted so many comments. Terrible company. You can't be bothered to come up with original ideas, can't be bothered to collaborate with the artists, and then ignore all the, and then I cut it off, but I believe it was ignore all the people commenting about it. On Friday, Selena posted this screenshot, which she also turned into a TikTok, of the only statement Madam Glam has made thus far. And I just checked and they have still said nothing. As of December 9th at 4:42, they have still said nothing. Or I should say they've only said this. So it is in response to a comment. I can't see what the comment is. I can only see their response. Thank you for reaching out and bringing this matter to our attention. We genuinely appreciate your concerns about the similarity between our tarot card design and those of another creator. The designs featured in our advent calendar are not new concepts, are trends that have been present in the industry, and we made our own like many other brands did. We highly value originality and respect the intellectual property rights. If there are any misunderstandings or unintentional similarities, we apologize for any confusion caused. That is all they have publicly said in regards to this. So this statement is nowhere near an apology, and it is nowhere near what I'm considering a public statement. This is a response to a comment on Instagram. That's all it is. Minimum, I would say something needs to be posted in their stories, but truly I think something needs to be posted on their feed across their platforms. Then Selena shared an Instagram story from one of her Instagram followers who wanted to tell her that people are getting blocked if they comment or message things to Madam Glam. It says, Selena, please make your followers aware that if they post on Madam Glam about you, they are blocked from Instagram. I've been blocked for posting this on their advent post. And then she goes into the post that she left. I have been using your products since you were a 5 free company. That's what, 10 years? And I've been following Selena Ryden for about 4 to 5 years. I would never believe you would be in this embarrassing situation. After so many unethical cases that have plagued the beauty industry, even nowadays, when AI can help inspire you, if your art team suddenly has a creative block, and as an artist myself and a longtime creator, I know how disappointing. At Madam Glam, do the right thing. And then there is a little screenshot of it saying, try again, you don't have access, blah, blah, blah. She was blocked. Then on Sunday, Selena shared a message that she sent to Madam Glam. She forwarded them the screenshot of the message she got from her follower who was proving that she was blocked after sending this message, and she added a little bit after. Hi Madam Glam, I would really appreciate a chat with the person in charge of your advent calendar for 2023 regarding the obvious similarities of your card deck and my copyrighted trademark nail cards. Who's the best person to speak with on this matter? They saw her message, and to my knowledge they have not responded, or at least she hasn't let us know that they've responded, which I believe means they haven't responded, but I don't know for sure. While editing this, Selena posted an update. It's a response from Madam Glam that reads, we have been troubled daily by harassment through DMs and comments, including receiving death threats. We are a small company and our team, comprised of real individuals behind these scenes, is deeply affected by these issues. We would appreciate engaging in a friendly phone conversation to address and resolve this issue, as we do not support public conflicts that affect and put pressure on real people. At first, I was like, they are not getting death threats. Calm down. And then I remembered that this is the internet, and it's entirely possible that they got death threats over this. So just don't do that. It's not necessary and it's not helpful. Period. And that being said, Madam Glam, people are harassing you because they're upset and you're doing nothing. You're saying nothing. That's why people are harassing you. Also, have you noticed a common thread between all of their communication that we've seen so far? There's the comment that we've already looked at, and the email that I received regarding the remover. They are kind of, and I hate to say this, but they're like, they're kind of playing the victim a little bit, in my opinion. Like, they aren't actually transparent about things. Like, when I asked a question, they didn't actually answer me, despite what they say about being transparent. Transparency would have been answering my question, in my opinion. They don't answer questions. They kind of talk around the question, kind of like politicians. They never really seem to accept responsibility or even understand why people are so upset. Like a simple, basic apology. I feel like that's all they would have had to do to put an end to this. In my opinion, it's also weird that they make a point of saying that real people work there, like Selena isn't a real person who feels like her hard work has been ripped off, or like all of the people whose comments were deleted weren't real people who feel like they aren't being listened to. And again, death threats are never okay, and I completely understand the impact that can have on somebody, but they completely ignored why this is happening. Honestly, I kind of feel like they're a little gaslighty, a little bit. Especially, like, they kind of make it seem like Selena's the reason they're being harassed, and not the fact that they kind of copied the design of her cards. Anyway, Selena responded, and it is a long one, so I'm going to paraphrase it for you, but I'll put the text on the screen so that you can pause and read it if you want to. She starts off by saying that she understands that the copy of the cards has caused a lot of distress for a lot of people and is committed to finding a solution. She goes on to say that after reviewing the product, she felt it necessary to let her followers know that they were not her cards, but a copy produced without her permission. She explains that she informed her followers because she values their relationship and wanted to avoid any disappointment should anyone purchase thinking they're hers. She reiterates that she understands the collective disappointment and frustration and would like to collectively work toward addressing the issue. And she proposes 3 steps to resolve the matter: removal of the infringing card deck, compensation of copyright infringement, and a public apology. And she finishes it off by saying she's open to engaging further to amicably resolve this issue. That is the update. On with the rest of the video. She also posted her work on her nail cards from Canva and the date that she started creating them, which was 2021. And she posted screenshots of the notes that she had while she was creating the nail cards. And it's all from 2021. Madam Glam's defense, or at least what they said in that non-public statement in the comments, was that this isn't a new concept, that lots of brands have done this. And yes, that's 100% true. The idea of like surprise nails, get what you get nails, gumball machine nails, mystery nails, not just nails, like people do that with tattoos really often too. That is nothing new. That has been going on for years and years and years and years. Even just having two different things written on a piece of paper and your client chooses long or short, pink or purple, flowers, hearts, that sort of thing. That is not new. There's tons of content with that stuff. There's tons of people doing that stuff. Even the idea of nail tarot cards isn't totally new. It's not like super common, but it's not a new thing. Just with a quick Google search, I found a couple other Etsy sellers selling this sort of concept. The most popular one that I've been able to find next to Selena's is a brand called Manicure Roulette, and they were released in April of 2022. And I think it's just a coincidence that them and Selena released a product that was similar 6 months apart, especially because if you know anything about the production of these products, especially on a larger scale, then you know to go from idea to production in 6 months is almost impossible. So there's no way that Selena could have seen their products in April and then had her cards mass produced by November, especially because she was teasing them, I believe, in like the summer. So I think that's kind of just coincidence. I think they just sort of had the same idea around the same time. And that also happens quite often. So let's take a quick look and compare Selena's cards versus the manicure roulette cards. So she has the color palette, the shape, a nail art, and then she has also, it looks like word themes to go off of as well to help inspire you. And then also the metallic accent option. And it looks like Manicure Roulette, in their first deck, they also have expansion decks, I should add. And I was looking at them and some of them are really pretty. The designs on them and stuff are really pretty. But, so from what I can tell in their original deck, they have an art theme, a color palette, a nail shape, and a wild card. And from what I understand, the person who owns the deck designs the nails on the wild card, and then you would incorporate that somehow into the design. So even just the decks that you are using are slightly different. And if you look at the designs, okay, so let's look at the shape cards, because any nail tarot deck is probably going to have a shape card. So they have length and shape combined. So also when I was looking, I think they said they have 11 shape cards. So they probably have like short stiletto, long stiletto, square, long square, kind of like that. Whereas to my knowledge, Selena just has the shape. Yeah, so she just has the shape, and then I guess the customer or the person who's getting their nails done would determine the length, which also makes sense because if I'm doing, because I know how, because I don't have many clients who are going to want a predetermined length, they're going to want to determine their length. So, but I do think that that is interesting if you're really playing the game. Then you don't get to choose the length. That's kind of fun. Also, let's take a look at their color palette. It's done in such a cool, like there's a design incorporated into their color palette that sort of fits with the name of their color palette. And if we look at Selena's, hers are much more simplistic, like color swatches, which also might be easier for a lot of people to get inspiration from. I could see other people with the other cards falling into the trap of sort of just copying what was on the card. But then again, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just telling you what's coming to my brain when I look at these things. Either way, they're very different cards. Even though they both have shape cards, they both have color palette cards, they both have nail art cards. Those are always going to be in some sort of nail art tarot deck. That's just sort of the things you need to know when you do a set of nails. That's not copying, that's just what you need to know. But it's how they're designed that makes them obviously different. And it's the actual inspo. It's the color palette choices, the nail art choices, how they're put together that make them definitively Selena or Lottie, who is the founder of Manicure Roulette, by the way. In my opinion, while similar concepts, they are entirely different products. Entirely different. I could see some people being attracted to one over the other. I could see some people getting more use over one over the other. Nothing specifically for me. I could use either of them and be happy. But I could see if you're looking for this sort of product, I could see why you would purchase one over the other just for personal preference. So it's kind of nice that there's multiples out there that are different. So now let's take a look, like a closer look at the Madam Glam cards versus Selena's cards. I only have these screenshots of what was shared from a TikTok. I haven't seen the entire deck because it's an advent calendar product, so they're not sharing the product, I guess. It's a surprise. Let's take a look at the shape cards, because I feel like when it comes to shape cards, there's only so much you can do. Unlike with Manicure Roulette, who has length and shape, and also their design of their cards is just very unique to them. This design is really giving like Amazon ripoff, Shein ripoff, like saw something we liked and we put a twist on it. It's 10% different, so it's not illegal. That sort of vibe. That's what I'm getting with the shape cards. Hers are pointing down, theirs are pointing up. The font, the lettering, it's different. It's totally different, but there's a border. It's just, they're very, in my opinion, similar. And theirs are solid colors, hers are just outlines. I feel like maybe if they had have just done something slightly different in the background, like it looks like there might be like a circle around them or something. It would have been nice if maybe the cards were all black and they did white outlines. That might be hard for printing. Maybe if the border was different and it was like a more detailed border, Because even though the borders are, yes, they're different, there's similarities to it that make you go, oh, is that the same? No, right? Yes? No. Let's take a look at the color palettes. The color palette cards. Same thing in my opinion as with the nail cards. When you're doing color palette cards, there's I guess only so many ways that you can present it. But did they have to use like the paint swatch idea? They could have used blobs, just like colored amorphous blobs. They could have used circles. It could have been many other things other than like the paint swatches. It seems intentional to create confusion, in my opinion. Or like whoever designed these cards, their only reference point was Selena's cards, and that's just where they're coming from, if that makes sense. It's like if you're doing nail art inspired by the Aurora Borealis, you Google Aurora Borealis nail art, and then you try to copy somebody else's nail art instead of just Googling Aurora Borealis and trying to copy the Aurora Borealis. You would have a more original set if you just did your version of the Aurora Borealis as opposed to somebody else's version, and that's how I feel with this. Like they did her version of nail tarot cards instead of their version. And like maybe if they didn't include the metallic accents, like I've only seen Selena do that. Any of the other cards I've looked at, I haven't seen the metallic accents, so maybe they should have done that. In my opinion, these are incredibly close. Like intentional close, like I said, created with only Selena's design in mind, or created intentionally to create marketplace confusion just so that they could get more talk, get more views. I'm honestly not sure. I don't know. It seems weird that they would do it on purpose, especially knowing that advent calendars get a fair amount of like content created about them. It's weird. Like this went through a team of people and nobody thought, wait a second, I've seen these before. Wait, nobody did a quick Google search and was like, guys, wait a second, doesn't this look like this already exists? Does this look like these cards here? Like, what? Nobody noticed? Nobody noticed. Really? It's also odd, interesting. There's something to note about them also being released only in an advent calendar so far. They are appearing to be some sort of limited edition product that is released in another product where you only see what you have on a specific day. So aside from the people who got the advent calendars early and unboxed them all in sort of like an advertisement sort of way for Madam Glam, aside from those content creators or the few who just unbox everything right away, those cards aren't going to be seen until that box is open, and I have a feeling it's in the 20s. Based on the way I've seen the advent calendar laid out, it looks like they're going to be in the 20s. So nobody was going to notice that these cards were in there and that they looked like Selena's cards until later in the month, when it was supposedly too late or the calendars were sold out, this product was no longer available. They just be like, oh well, sorry, we made a mistake, we won't do it again next year, bye. You know what I mean? It's just, that's something that I just wanted to note about them being in an advent calendar, is it's like it's an extra level of secrecy, an extra level of like sneakiness. And then when you add on the layer of they're deleting comments, or were deleting comments, at least I don't think that they are anymore, but that they were deleting comments about anybody who talked about this, that just adds another level of like sneaky secrets. Just wanted to point that out and say that I think it's interesting. I would also really like to see the rest of the deck. I would like to see the color palettes. Are the color palettes similar to the ones Selena created? Like the choice of colors, not necessarily in the orders they're in, but the choice of colors, the actual color palettes together. Are they similar? Maybe they're completely different. Hopefully they're completely different. I would like to know. Do they have an art deck? I haven't seen anybody talking about an art deck. I've only seen these. Did they copy her art ideas? Did they copy her artwork exactly? Maybe they don't have one because they don't have anybody creative enough to create one. I don't know. I would love to know if it's the same, if they have one. If you know, please let me know. I'm very interested. Like really, all they had to do was make them obviously Madam Glam cards. They could have used the same concept. They just had to make them obviously Madam Glam cards. They had to make them all like lots of black because they use lots of black in their branding. They had to use lots of black and just did the artwork differently. I don't think anybody would have a problem, quite honestly. I'd love to know what you think about this. Do you think the cards are similar? Do you think they're copying? Do you think this is a theft situation, let me know. Maybe you think that they did nothing wrong. Let me know. And that is it for me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!